Today on my RZR I'm going to be installing the TPR Industry oil breather kit. I've used and seen a lot of them in the past from other companies, and whether it's baffle design or what, they have a terrible problem with splashing oil out the filters and just creating a huge mess. Potentially, we'll see. I may show you a couple pictures of the last brand A, B, or C, whatever you want to call it, one that I used, and it made a complete mess. So anyway, let's show you a little bit about this and we'll get started. Okay, like I said before, other products I've used are their manual timing chain tensioner. I think you can see it in there. Maybe that's a better shot of it. Anyway, you can get pictures on their website if you can't see it there very good. I like their instructions, and that one is super simple to use with the finger knob. So I'll be working in the garage today. The shop is full, so we get to work in here. Unfortunately, I've got some lights that are going out, so I had to turn one bank of the garage lights off because it looked like it was a disco party going on. Of course, in the garage we use nothing but the fanciest tools, so here's my pointer. So in the TPR kit, you get the tank, you get the hoses. So here's the, well, it's both the breather and drain back hose that goes to this billet piece that we mount on the block. It also has the oil fill cap with an AN fitting on it, and that goes over here to this breather. So what this tank does is it catches the vapor and any oil gets drained back. And you can look on their website to read a little bit more about it. Maybe I'll put a link, or I'll actually just put a screenshot of their website so you can read. And then it's got the drain here. Comes with the ARP fasteners to hold the billet adapter block on there. Comes with the plug in case you're using a J tube that has an opening for the factory breather. I will be using the aftermarket Assassin's J tube, and we opted not to have any bungs on that, so I won't need the plug. Anyway, from what I can tell, it looks like that's going to go up in that region. I'll be taking off the Trinity J tube and the concoction of mismatched stuff here that we had to do in a pinch at the dunes last time because my last catch can was just pouring oil all over. The billet piece adapter goes down here, kind of at the bottom of the dipstick, if you can see down there. So I'll make some room and get back on video here. So there's a chance that it might be impossible for me to do this while filming, but I'll try to point out what I'm going to do. So I'm going to take off that hose for the oil breather line, and then it's got 4 bolts, one there, here, down over there, and over here that hold this piece on, and then it's got the one for the dipstick tube. Anyway, I will try to put the camera down in here, and if I cut away, it's because you wouldn't have been able to see it anyway. But we'll see what we can do. Sorry for the manual tools. I know a couple of my buddies are really gonna razz me about it because I hate manual tools. They're slow, awkward, cumbersome, but I can't find my Milwaukee cordless ratchet, which would be very handy when reaching in here. Anyway, here we go. Let's see if we can get some of this stuff done. Okay, I'll go over to the other side and pull that line off. Okay, one thing to note is right down here on the bottom bolt that you might be able to see right there, the water line was kind of in the way, so I just put a bungee around it to hold it out of the way. And then there's one all the way back over on this other side that I think we can get from here. I don't know how much you'll be able to see, but you can see I have the billet adapter on here now. I did use blue Loctite on all the 5/16 12-point ARP bolts there. So now we'll go to the other side. I will go ahead and take off the J-tube. Not being on video, I'm sure you guys have seen that enough. So I will get to that part now. Now that we have the billet adapter block on the engine, our next part is to put these fittings together. Now, I haven't used this brand that they give you. They're just a push style. And it looks like with some little bit of force they'll go on. One way I've done it with other brands is to use boiling water and put the hose in the water and press it on from there. But I think when I can use both hands and really push on this, I'll be able to do it off camera. So I will do that real quick and be back. Hopefully the lighting is good enough, but you can see here that we got that fitting on and that fitting on. You just want to make sure you get them pushed on tight. I ended up not needing to use the water. I just grabbed it real tight and kind of worked it on there. So next thing we want to do is take the cover off of this AN fitting down here. And I just want to test fit it to see if we're going to go above or below the fuel lines here. And I think I'm going to go below them because it'll kind of help hold them up out of the way if it ever blows belts or anything else. And I wouldn't put it too tight until you get the bottom one mocked up here. So what they give you are these hose clamps, and that's what will help you mount this thing up to the factory frame here. So you can see how it looks down there connected to the adapter. And then up here you can see there. Kind of how you route the line is up to you for a little bit of it. I felt like that looked the cleanest and it was the most out of the way. And then you can see the hose clamp idea for holding that thing on there. There you go. Now we'll jump to the next section and I will update you as I go. All right, at this point I have the line made from the valve cover that goes over to the catch can. So what I ended up doing is laying it out like this. Here, so that'll connect to the valve cover piece, and then that end gets routed over underneath a few things and over to the catch can. So on the smaller hose, I decided to use the boiling water thing to get the hose on, make it a little bit easier. What I did was I brought water just to a boil and put the hose in it for about 30 seconds, and then I was able to push it on a lot easier. So that worked really well. Can go ahead and give that method a try if you guys want to make it a little bit more simple. Of course, use gloves or rags. I just used some rags on the hose so it wasn't so hot. Anyway, I will get this routed under and catch back up with you on the other side over where the catch can is at. Well, you have to excuse the mess, but you can see overall it looks like it fits pretty good. So I laid it out like that, and then it routes down underneath. And let me get you a little bit of light in here. So you can see I came around the back part of the J-tube and up in there for the valve cover breather. And then for the bottom, as we saw earlier, it comes down here and goes back into there. So overall, I think I like the placement. Looks good, fits good. Alrighty, here it is. The final layout of how I routed everything. You can see up there. That's the angle that I found fit the best and routed the hose the best. Most things are put together good enough to show you what it would be as a finished product. So on mine, I mounted it a little bit higher. Probably, I think about right there is where they would have had you mount it according to what they designed. I wanted mine as high as possible because I like having the filter way up high. Just gives that much less chance of any type of slosh or anything. But you can see it looks real clean. All the hose comes down, goes down in there to that billet piece. The valve cover one going up there to the side, and it really keeps that out of the way. I did, in order to mount it up higher like that, I did have to bend the bracket and just trimmed a little bit on one of the ears because that gave it more clearance up in here where the shock would have hit it if you just left the brackets the way they should be. Anyway, if you guys want to hear a long-term review after our next dunes trip, let me know in the comments. Other than that, like and subscribe. Keep me motivated to doing some of these videos. It kind of helps when more than 13 people watch them. Gives me more inspiration and makes me want to spend more time. If you guys were looking for a full every single step, I'm sorry I didn't do that, but I figured most people who are going to attempt to do this install will be doing, have had a little bit of experience doing mechanical work, so I didn't want to bore you guys with every single last step. Anyway, if you have specific questions, just let me know. Other than that, have a good day. Thanks for watching.
If you like our video, like and subscribe.